Hey folks, this is Ben Gessel. This seems to be, oh man, this whole month is going to be hard. In some respects, yeah. Okay, so I won't elaborate on what was hard to do this morning, but now it's done, and I have a whole bunch of other far apart lessons I'm teaching and a party at 8 p.m. tonight in Renton. I'm going to. It's going to be a long day, and, I have a few thoughts I want to share with you guys. The first train of thought, I think, is that it's very, very hard for sensitive, introverted people in general to socialize and to find people we want to marry and get married. And I don't think most people understand just how difficult this is. It's hard for most everyone, but it's extremely hard for some folks in particular. The second thing is I want to mention, it's kind of a little bit obvious, right? The second thing is that, there are a lot of things that we need to be about doing in this life, and it makes it even harder to do that when you're really busy. And for a lot of people, our work becomes something like an excuse to not socialize. Or something even better, there have been times when I've been kind of chastised in college for wanting to have some social time or some me time instead of, furthering my studies or something having to do with, classes. You see why I'm, sometimes upset by the way things are, the status quo in this world. That's one of the small reasons. Stuff like that. And, it's hard for some of us to, hard enough for some of us to kind of organize our time and balance our time. Makes it even harder when you have people that are, professors in college that make it even harder for you. I've often thought, oh man, I would have loved to have lived in earlier times. In earlier times, college professors are even more indifferent to me. It would have been even more, whatever grade you get, right? Nowadays, college professors are a bit more nurturing, a little bit more in the past. But then, of course, I like the overall culture and morals of the United States in other times anyway. So I guess you get a trade-off. I don't know. And so, someone that I've been following on YouTube has mentioned recently that he's willing to help people in their lives for $100. Didn't really specify how long that was going to be for these consulting sessions. The reason I mentioned this has to do with the fact that there are people I think that could use some, including myself, we could use some even much more mature, more people trained in, who knows, psychology, whatever else to help us out. There are people that really know what they're doing there and that are very spiritually wise and good people. So, if you want to help people in some kind of internal sense, the more that one is spiritually and intellectually and emotionally qualified, the better off I think they would be as a consultant. I'm not trying to put down this person's effort to make a bit of money. Trying to help people. But yeah, the amount that he's charging is a bit excessive, in my opinion. And it's a multifaceted kind of thing when you're talking about life balance and emotions and other things. It's motivation to get up in the morning, all this stuff. It's you don't want to go to someone who's pretty okay at this. You want to go to someone who's amazing at this, as well as someone who understands you very, very well. So there's some pros and cons to life coaches this way online. I mean, there just are. But I wanted to mention that at the outset, at least. So this party I'm going to tonight, right? It's LDS. to just kind of get together. I'm hoping it's fun. I'm hoping it's cool. I'm hoping that it's more enjoyable even than the last thing I went to. And it's a little farther south, but the nice thing is that I'm already going to be in Seattle, southern Seattle at that point, so it's going to be just a hop and skip away after I'm done teaching, which will be really nice. Get a bite to eat maybe before going, I don't know. And, this is, a lot of times my videos I put out, there's some things I'm trying to get to still, I know, but these are kind of like vlogs. A blog, but a video log, right? How things are going. I don't always mention how things are going, but I kind of do. I do tend to talk a lot about my own life and things, so. But, I'm like sometimes have to wonder, I don't know. There's a lot of things that you just don't see on videos, YouTube videos, from people. Let me just back up a little bit here. Majority of people have a lot of humanity and emotions and things about them, all of us. We all have these emotions and desires and things, and trains of thought and all this stuff. That's what makes us human. And if we had less of those things, or we were just more of a hard shell, that's a truly sad way of being. It's the worst thing is just to be evil, right? Anyway, much more desensitized to everything. That's not the right way of being. Not the right way of being. But I mentioned this train of thought. We all have emotions. We all have things like this going on. Because, most YouTube videos, I think a lot of them try to be really upbeat and really helpful and really encouraging. And we always show our nice face, our happy face. We're taught in our church oftentimes to put on a happy face, be pleasant on dates, be pleasant in general when you're socializing with other people. I don't know. All I know is that it's better to be sincere and good and not. I don't know. It's really important that people understand better and better things like emotion. We let other people vent, so long as they're not beating us to death. We let people vent and we let people share their feelings, even if it's online. What's the difference between a complete stranger and someone that you know very well? You just simply haven't got to know a complete stranger yet. Again, online stuff is not, I've mentioned this before countless times, it's just not as, you don't know as much. But we can be too hard, way too hard on people that are simply talking about their own thoughts and emotions online. And some people try to hide that with jokes, try to fit in a little bit of emotions with jokes and with funny little skits and things. Yeah, there's someone I have in mind in this regard. But it's not just one person, but I mean, like, there's a lot of, I just, it's like you keep seeing these videos, right, where the person making the video tries to be fun, tries to be an enjoyable person to watch, but with very, 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 very few exceptions, if any. I'm not talking at all about people talking about politics and all this stuff. I'm not talking about people who obviously aren't showing very much emotion because the nature of what they're talking about, other than anger, maybe, it's very abrupt. And I'm maybe thinking of like in a certain guys in this regard, more guys, but there's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of things going on, behind what a lot of people put out. This doesn't really need to be said, but I guess if you guys are following Matthew Santoro is one of those guys where he really tries to put on a very happy, pleasant, nice face. And I say this with the utmost respect for him. I don't know him very well. I've seen some of his videos here and there, and he really tries to be very clear with what he's saying, but he doesn't. it's funny because when he tries to be clear, it doesn't come off as arrogant. Or it's quite the opposite. He's very humble, in my opinion. But you can hear him well, and he does a good job talking faster and more. He tries to be upbeat and really happy. I mean, he really tries to be really happy on the camera. Maybe I mentioned this before in another video about Matthew Santoro, but I don't always watch his stuff so much. I maybe should more often, but this is someone who is a very, in my opinion, very good man, and he has shown his real emotions on occasion, and you know, if you're not subscribed to Matthew Santoro, you know, please do yourself a favor and subscribe to him. He's really he's a fun guy. He's a great guy to watch. You know, I mean, like, it's often where someone's heart is. If your heart's in the right place, things work out, I think. But I just want to say again, you know, I know that there are still some things that are best not put on YouTube, but it takes a lot of courage to either put something out on YouTube for complete strangers or in real life, you know, be real with people and put emotion out there, put thoughts out there, even if they're rejected. And if you're rejected time and time again, whether it's romantically or some other way, it takes more and more courage sometimes to keep putting yourself out there. And we don't think about that enough. I think a lot of times as people comment, we're not kind enough. We're not considerate enough. We don't support each other like we should. Now, there's a reason why I prefer YouTube over Facebook. That's because you can see videos of other people. On Facebook, you just brag. And you get little invites to things. I don't know. So not completely worthless, but so let's make YouTube a little happier place, okay, folks? Okay, I'm talking to myself too. Catch you guys later. Bye.